For short, we call it the QiFi. And the QiFi, Lucretia, why don't we bring the QiFi in? Maybe we can have Kevin bring a table here, and then we'll bring the QiFi up. Okay? The QiFi is a lot, it's named after kind of similar to Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi, sends a signal through your house. Well, QiFi also sends a signal, only the signal is a very subtle. It's a lot subtler than Wi-Fi. This is a really subtle signal that we send. Very subtle. This is really, from my perspective, an instrument. It's a very subtle and refined instrument. There you go. We designed it initially it had a shape, it had this really funky shape. And then we made some changes to it and some changes until we made a prototype. And the prototype came out and it arrived and we were like, wow, that looks an awful lot like a spaceship. Really, it was not, it was designed, at least from here, there was no intention for it to look like a spaceship. Then I was on this really good alternative blog site that I go to occasionally. This was like days after the prototype came in. This is the prototype, by the way. We're going to go into production. It's going to look a little bit more, a little more refined, and we're making the molds right now. And so when I looked online on this blog that I look at occasionally, and they had a picture of this spaceship with a story about it, and I said, my goodness, I think that's almost exact replica. It looked the same slope, it was completely far out. In any event, it's not a spaceship. What it is, and as it was interesting because as I was kind of having that kind of reference of it looking similar, I began having the notion, for me, it's designed as a way to condition the larger space. Laser works great and opens up the space. This is a way to condition, you want to condition your whole home, set it on a program. There are 6 programs in here currently. Unwind, quantum, activate, unity, cohere, and wave. The real alchemy. For me, I love just putting it on, and when I do it, I sit, I try one, I try the other, and when my field kind of drops, I turn it on and just leave it be. You can put food around it, charges up the food. You can put your smoothie around it, charges up the smoothie. As I was having this notion of, wow, it looks like a UFO, I started having the consideration, it wasn't the design, that, it's kind of a little bit, like a beacon. That kind of, from my perspective, this also works great on EMFs and balancing EMF polarizing fields. But it does it in a totally different way than anything else. It doesn't do it in a linear way. A lot of EMF protection does things in a linear way. So it says, oh, there's a wave here, we're going to go and we're going to cancel out that wave. Or we're going to go and offset that wave. So then you have to fine tune and figure out, well, okay, well, what is that wave? How do we tune to it? And how do we actually cancel or offset it? This is doing it in a totally different way. From my perspective, the QiFi does it. What the QiFi does is it opens up. It's such a subtle, it opens up ether in the space. When I turn it on, it opens up, it's like a, how do you say, like a little kind of portal. It's not laser, it's using scalar technology. It's using a unique kind of technology with crystal oscillators, and it's a unique approach that we've developed to very subtly open up that space. The benefit from an EMF perspective is that the more you open up that space and get ether, plasma, back in an environment, The ether, the plasma can deal with the EMFs. You understand? It's totally different. I don't want to go and same thing as our approach to everything else. I don't want to go and deal with some disease or some emotion. I just want to open up neutrality. Let neutrality come in and find solutions to cancel, to dissolve, to return back to neutrality. So when I put it on, the key, set it, let it start doing its thing. This is about opening up ether. This is based on physics of induction. This is like, you know, currently a lot of the physics and science on our planet are based in the polarizing principle. To me, the new season, our shift to the new season, we have got to, as a planet, get the principle of high-spin ether plasma physics, which is induction, inducing. You want to travel through the universe, you got to figure out, you can't be traveling from point to point. You got to figure out induction. Open up the space. Open up the space. Tap right back into that unified state of neutral essence, nutrescence.